Hello, everyone. Welcome to GoLeopards.com. Gary Laubach, Mike Joseph. Glad you're with us behind the mic for one more time, as we've got a couple more weeks to take a look at the Lafayette Leopards. And I don't know, Mike, what do you do about last week's debacle? I mean, you give up all those points, 61 of them. Certainly had a pretty good offensive ball game, but do you just forget about that and move on?
I think you have to, and I think that's what Frank talked about is you can't dwell on it, because the longer you dwell on it, the more the kids dwell on it, and then you really have inefficient practices, and you want to kind of get it out of their minds. And the question is, do you actually watch the film on defense? I don't think you do. I think you put it away. You say that's a game within itself, and we're not going to look at it. We might look at it in the off season, take a look at some of our mistakes and stuff, but I think you got to move on. You still have a chance for a winning record, and you still have a chance at least to play spoiler against Lehigh, and that's the biggest game. And
you also have to think, I guess, as to how much bearing that loss will have on playing anybody else. I mean, Colgate is unique in the way in which they run that offense. I'm not sure we'll see anybody ever run it better than they do, and therefore it may not relate to any other game we play.
Yeah, and the way Colgate runs it is they're committed to that zone read, and a lot of people dabble in it, and plenty of teams dabble in it. A lot of NFL teams you see each week dabble in it, but they are committed to it. That's what they do, and it's like going against a wishbone in the old days, or going against a triple option team. You can't simulate that in practice, so it's very difficult to get your defense up to speed. The first time they see the speed of it is that first series, and Lafayette got a taste of it real early.
Well, we take a look at Fordham under a new head coach, Joe Moorhead, so that probably presents a little bit of a problem in recognizing all that they're going to do. They're 5-4, 2-2 in the Patriot League, just like we are. But they're a team now that has probably up in the vicinity of 50 scholarship players on this roster. So they look like a very formidable opponent.
And I think they are. Athletically, they're probably going to put the most athletes out there. Where it scares you a little bit is on your special teams. They're going to put a lot of athletes on your special teams where your backups might be going against scholarship athletes, running kickoffs back, things like that. So I think Lafayette has to be extra special on special teams this week, and maybe on their side of the ball try to block a kick and get things going, because they haven't scored a point for 6 straight games in the first quarter, and every year it's important. Early in the year they were good. They were playing from ahead, made a big difference. They've been playing from behind in the weeks past.
And if this game comes down to a field goal or a kicking game, certainly the best kicker in the entire Patriot League is Patrick Murray.
He's an NFL kid. He really is. He's been Player of the Week 6 times in this league. He's dominated the kicking duties, and he's special. If it comes down to that, I think Lafayette's in trouble, so they're going to need maybe a touchdown or 2 lead. This is a game I think the defense is going to bounce back, and offensively, I tell you got to be happy with Zach Sweisig, and then you always have Andrew Shoup in your pocket.
Well, finally, I guess the one thing we're going to need is a little short-term memory this week. We don't want to remember last week. Let's remember the games prior to that. 3 games prior to that, we only gave up 13 points a game.
Yeah, and that's what they have to hang their hat on. Put it away. Move on. You have this game, which I think is a tune-up, obviously, for the big one in 2 weeks.
Well, if you're going to tune up, then tune in and join us at 1 o'clock. We'll be at Fordham in the Bronx to bring you the Lafayette-Fordham football game. Thanks for joining us behind the mic.